Alrighty, y'all. What's going on, guys? Welcome back here to another live stream, my friends. We got ourselves a heck of a day ahead of us tomorrow and even on Sunday. Looks like another day we got to watch out there for. But what's up, guys? Hope everyone's doing good. Yeah, we had a little bit of problems. For some reason, my stream was being a little bit weird. I don't know what was going on. It actually decided it wanted to kick on our automated radar stream, the stream that I was planning. Anyways, it's all good. Got everything all situated. Got everything fixed now. What's up, guys? Hope everyone's doing good. Let's see. We got Red. We have James. We have Jamie, Viper, Ponderosa, Starshine. What's up, guys? Hope everyone is doing well. But anyways, folks, so as you guys may or may not know, like we mentioned, tomorrow is going to be a busy, busy day. We are going to be live, of course. I definitely do want to be live with you guys because the fact is that we do have ourselves a pretty big risk. So for today, we do have a little marginal. We're still watching. We can't rule out an isolated tornado tonight. Tonight's not really the big day, though. Tomorrow, though, that's where things could get pretty active, pretty nasty. So according to the SPC, we do have ourselves a large enhanced risk, a level 3 severe weather threat. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and bring the SPC over here, the main page. We're just going to look at it through here. So yeah, for tomorrow we do have this really big enhanced risk out there for portions of Louisiana, a lot of the central side of Louisiana, as well as like kind of areas here in central Mississippi, as well as like western Alabama. We do have ourselves an enhanced risk, a level 3 severe weather threat out here for tomorrow. Now, unfortunately, we do have a really, really big hatched risk for tornadoes. So the areas in yellow we're talking potential significant tornadic activity in which we are seeing maybe a couple strong ones, perhaps maybe EF2 or greater. Can't be ruled out in the yellow area here as we do have that hatch risk here from SPC. They do say that the hatched area, 10% greater probability EF2 to EF5 tornadoes within 25 miles of a point. So basically, your location would be that point. And within 25-mile radius of your location, if you're in the yellow, there is a 10% chance that a tornado could drop in that region. And like we mentioned, there is a hatch risk with that, which basically means, once again, that there could be some pretty big ones tomorrow. So we're going to definitely be live. But it's honestly, it's a pretty big tornado threat. I mean, even the 2% goes up into, Tennessee here. I mean, all the way through Tennessee here. All the way from eastern Texas to Tennessee, all the way down to the panhandle of Florida. So a pretty big area here tomorrow for tornadoes. Yeah, I think we could have quite a bit of them tomorrow. So then, of course, that's not the only concern. We do have ourselves a damaging wind threat as well. We're going to be talking some damaging wind gusts, likely ranging between maybe 60, maybe 70 miles an hour, with a 30% chance across that region where we do also have that 10% significant tornado risk that we were talking about. We do also have this 30% non-hatch risk. We do have the 10% hatch risk for tornadoes, the non-hatch risk, 30% for the area. So once again, we're going to be talking basically right around anywhere from 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts on that line of storms that rolls through. So 30% chance for that within a 25-mile radius of your area. The yellow is a 15% chance of that, so about half probability. And of course, we do have the 5%, the relatively small threat for damaging winds across the brown. Then lastly, we do have a hail threat here for tomorrow, a pretty big 15% all the way from eastern Texas through western Alabama, with a 15% chance of large hail potentially being between 1 and 2 inches in diameter. And of course, we do have that 5% chance going all the way up into Tennessee as well. As far to the north is Tennessee, actually northern Tennessee. Far to the south out there towards the Gulf Coast, and far west is eastern Texas, as far east as pretty much a little sliver of northwestern Georgia is even in that overall. Let's see here. We had 5 tornadoes already today. Yeah, it's we've been pretty active with tornadoes. I didn't know there was 5 of them today, but I know that there has been a couple of them. And yesterday too, we had a couple tornadoes. So yeah, we've been pretty active. Nature's not really on our side anymore. It looks like we were getting that late season kicked in. which is pretty late. But I don't know if you guys remember my winter forecast video. In my winter forecast video, I told you guys, I called this a while back. I don't know if you guys remember this. For the people who were on my winter forecast videos, I said as we approach the late end of pretty much December and going into January, we're going to start to probably see some severe weather in the south. And boom, look what's happening. So I kind of called this. I got to take the credit for that one. I'm sorry. But anyways, yeah, we are kind of rolling into a new pattern here in which it does look like, we are going to be seeing a bit more active severe weather. Anyways, so yeah, we're definitely going to want to watch out. The main threat tomorrow is going to be central Louisiana, throughout portions of Mississippi, western Alabama, in that level 3 severe weather threat, the enhanced risk. The level 2 for areas of eastern Texas, southern Arkansas, portions of Louisiana, northern Mississippi, as well as pretty much the middle portion here of Alabama, and then of course we do have ourselves the green, the marginal risk, the level 1 threat. Even still, like I said, it still is a threat for severe weather as high up as northern Tennessee. We're gonna have to look out there for that. Let's see here. How am I, says Viper? I'm doing pretty good. Hopefully you're doing good. Let's see here. What do I think about tomorrow in Coloca, Tennessee? I have no idea how you say that. You got a marginal, pretty low threat. Just keep it on the weather. It is possible for a couple storms nearby, a couple of which could be severe, but a lot of the heavy activity is going to be to your south. What's up, Jeff? Hope you're doing good. Worried over here in Liberty, Mississippi. Be careful, David. Yeah, Mississippi is going to be a hot spot tomorrow for sure. Definitely want to keep a close eye. What's up, Jenny? Hope you're doing good. Let's see here. Great forecast. Appreciate it. Tabletop, thank you, man, for the 2. Appreciate it. Saying, would I worry for coastal North Carolina Sunday? I wouldn't worry. I would definitely keep an eye on it though. I wouldn't worry though, as always. I mean, even though it's something a lot of people can worry over. I totally get it, but I wouldn't. It is something that you do need to watch though. Which, yeah, Sunday we actually have a pretty big slight risk here for areas of North and South Carolina, as well as a bit of Georgia, a little bit of Southern Virginia there too. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to have to watch out for Sunday. There is no breakdown quite yet for the probabilities like tornadoes, damaging wind and hail. We don't have the breakdowns for Sunday quite yet. We'll get that tomorrow. Or actually late tonight, we'll get that whenever the day 2, which is tomorrow, turns into day 1. So yeah, we'll keep you updated. We'll let you guys know about all that tomorrow. Once again, we will be live tomorrow. So make sure you guys are subscribed, turn on notifications. That way you guys can get alerted when we do go live, whenever we do go and do this coverage here overall. Once again, Tabletop, appreciate it, man. Yeah, I mean, you're in Wilmington. I know where you're at. You're pretty active on here, so I remember. You're at a marginal, level 1 threat as of now. It's not really a high threat for you, but, a couple severe storms can't be ruled out. What time will it start tomorrow? That is a really good question. Actually, let's bring up the models. Actually, you know what? We're actually already on the models. Let's just use this here. We are going to look at the latest, I think, well, you know what? No, let's just bring over the models here. I'm going to get a little bit lazy with it. I'm just going to bring it over here. Let's pull up HRRR, actually. We are going to look at that. Kind of pull up the high-resolution rapid refresh model. So, yeah, overnight we're going to have a little bit of storms. I mean, a couple of which perhaps could be severe. We do have that 2% chance for tornadoes tonight. But yeah, you can really see things starting to pop off. It looks like tomorrow morning we could get some storms popping off here. It doesn't look like it really kicks off, though, until we kind of get around pretty much early afternoon. Yeah, is whenever that really starts developing. But, according to HRRR here, I'm a little bit concerned because what I'm seeing here is a lot of prefrontals. If you don't know what a prefrontal is, it's a bunch of storms that happen ahead of a cold front, or ahead of the main line of storms. Here, let me go and bring up my pen here so I can draw on the screen. Yeah, so HRRR suggests there being a lot of prefrontals here. It's a little bit concerning. Let's see here. Jenny, thanks for the 5. Appreciate that. Thank you so much for your support, Jenny. I really, really appreciate that. It helps us out a bunch. Hey, it keeps us running, man. So thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm very, very thankful for that. So thank you so much. But yeah, I mean, it's a little concerning. There's a lot of prefrontal storms that really kick off here. Kind of showing two waves, two main lines perhaps of storms rolling through here basically. So this is for late tomorrow. This is for the later portion of tomorrow. There's kind of a bunch of rounds that you can kind of see. So yeah, HRRR does kind of go a little bit haywire with the prefrontals there, which, as you may or may not know, prefrontal storms can be more significant for one, but they can also be more active. We definitely will likely get tornadoes in this line, but if we do get those prefrontals firing, I think that's where a lot of our tornadoes are going to be, in kind of those semi-discrete storms overall. So to answer your question, what time will it start? It looks like storms will actually start fairly early in the morning. Pretty much early morning for the most part. A little bit after sunrise, storms will start firing, but doesn't seem until like early afternoon where it starts kind of getting severe per se. But it looks like the main of the event is probably going to be taking place in the evening. Yeah, so once the atmosphere warms up completely, we get the full potential. I think sometime tomorrow evening is when things are going to really pop off, but it could happen as early as the early afternoon. Let's see here. What's up, Double Rose? Hope you're doing good. The Zero Zulu's coming in. Gotcha. That'll be interesting for sure. Jesse says, what's the time frame for 36037? So let's look here. Let's take a look at that. So we're going to give you an estimate here. We're going to remove this real quick. So you're in Alabama. Gotcha. So you're kind of, let's see. Let's bring up our day 2 outlook. The risk for tomorrow. Yeah, so it's going to be late because it's going to take a little bit for that cold front to get to you. It's going to start off, well, actually, you might get some storms tonight, so keep an eye out there for that. This is kind of the decaying cold front that we have from the last system that just rolled through. But you can kind of see things start to pop off towards your region. Actually, this model doesn't even show it. We're not rendering that far. But it'll be later. It'll be late, honestly. Late evening more than likely, because you can see where the event starts in the west and gradually works its way to the east, and since you're on the far eastern side of the risk area, it's going to take a little bit of time more than likely to get to you. It's going to really kind of start in these areas here, like eastern Texas and Louisiana. That's where it's going to really kind of start kicking off, and then of course actually I'll bring up the NAM 3K, kind of get a little estimate from this model. We got to remember these models ain't perfect, so timing is not going to be precise always. But pretty late. Look at that, right on 2 a.m. Eastern, roughly. Take that with a grain of salt. But here's the thing, though. The NAM also kind of shows several rounds of storms. Kind of like what the HRRR was saying. So you could get hit by multiple waves. It seemed like the last one rolls through like pretty much around sunrise for the 29th is when that second round. Take that lightly. Remember, these models ain't perfect. But yeah, it'll be late, honestly. You might get a couple scattered storms, though, throughout the evening, but yeah. So keep an eye late. And that's another problem, unfortunately, is, since this threat is mostly going to be during the evening, it's going to be nighttime, which makes things just impossible to see. So if there was tornadoes and stuff like that, it would be nighttime. You couldn't see it, but there would also be, that threat for those tornadoes being rain wrapped and embedded in those storms there into that line. So yeah, it's kind of a double whammy. You can't see it because it's nighttime and the rain wrapped potential of these tornadoes tomorrow. It's just going to make it a little bit challenging. Honestly, impossible to see for the most part, more than likely for some of those storms. So, yeah. So don't wait to see or hear it. I mean, that's just common sense. I know there's a lot of people out there who want to see it to make sure it's there. I've seen that so many times, but yeah, you can't see them tomorrow because they're going to be late. For one, it's going to be dark, and then two, it's going to be potentially rain wrapped as well. So, yeah. So don't wait to see it. So if you do get a warning tomorrow, make sure that you make sure you go to your safe spot. Now, I will tell you guys this. Prepare early. I cannot stress this enough. Make sure you guys know where to go if a warning gets issued. Okay, so think right now. Where would you go? Say a tornado warning just got issued for you. Where would you go? You got to act quick. You got to run to your safe spot. So think of that tonight, okay? Think of it tonight. Obviously, we recommend if you have a basement or a storm cellar, that's your first option. If you do not, which, I know there's a lot of people that don't, then go to the central interior portion of your home, such as a bathroom or a closet in the middle of your home, and go ahead and put some important documents and stuff in there. Maybe a first aid kit, pair of shoes, maybe a helmet. Put that stuff in your safe location. That way, say you do get a tornado warning. If you do, not everybody will, but if you do, then you'll know where to go, and you'll have all your items there. We recommend shoes, obviously, to say worst case scenario happens. There's going to be broken things all over the place. Worst case scenario, of course. You just got to think outside the box. You got to think outside of it. So, anyways. Just stuff you got to think about. Just make sure that you guys know where to go. Okay, that's your homework for tonight. That is your homework. Let's see here. Will I be live during the storms? Absolutely, yes. Tomorrow I am taking all day, most of the day, to be streaming this if my Wi-Fi lets me. It's been being a little bit of a pain lately. Now it seems to be running smooth. Knock on wood. But yeah, I definitely plan to stream a lot tomorrow for sure. Let's see here. The trees are what's going to make it worse for visibility. That's a great point. A lot of the areas down here in the south is covered in trees, which, that's another fair point. That'll make it just even harder to see. Nighttime, bad visibility, just naturally with trees everywhere. I know down south there's a lot of really big pine trees, at least in the Carolinas. I know that. But yeah, I do know there's a lot of vegetation in the south, which that'll make it even harder to see overall. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm just walking from work. Thank you for covering this. I am in North Alabama. 35950, please and thank you. Yeah, here, let me pull that up real quickly. I'll just let you know what you're in for. Let's see, you're up in Alabama. Yeah, so you're on the edge of the level 2 threat. Definitely watch out for storms tomorrow. You're not in the maximum threat tomorrow. I would definitely keep a close look on it, though. And, your storms are not going to really approach until later on tomorrow evening. Throughout the morning, you should be pretty clear. A couple of showers, maybe some storms for the afternoon, but yeah, it really seems like late tomorrow evenings when you're going to start getting stuff. But yeah, you are at risk. You're in the level 2 out of 3 for tomorrow. So you are in an area that we do need to be watching out for. Let's see here. What's my current thoughts on the severe risk in eastern Tennessee, northeastern Tennessee on Saturday? So get a little marginal. While there is going to be the shot for some severe weather, since it's a marginal, it's a relatively lower threat. But there will still be the possibility for some tornadoes. Even up in Tennessee tomorrow. So there could be a couple spin ups. So we do need you guys to be watching out there as well. It is less of a probability than say areas in like central Mississippi. The yellow, that's going to be the hot spot for tomorrow. The 5% is still, I consider, a decent threat for tornadoes. And then of course the 2%, kind of on the lower side, but it is still a tornado threat, and it still needs to be taken seriously. Damaging winds and hail also will be a potential concern. It's unlikely that you'll specifically be impacted across that region, but the risk is there. It is technically there. So there could absolutely be some severe weather out that way. So yeah, keep an eye on it, even if you're in the marginal, of course. Let's see here. What's up, James? Hope you're doing good. Let's see here. Double Rose says, hey, Andrew, will Indiana or Florida be affected? So Indiana will not. Sorry. I don't know why I was thinking Iowa for a second. No, southern Indiana will be in the marginal, that level 1 threat for tomorrow. Kind of like we mentioned here. Wait, hold on a minute. I am totally reading this wrong. Sorry, y'all. My brain's just not braining. No, southern Indiana is not under the risk. I thought the general thunderstorm was the marginal. I do need to remove that. I had it gone for the longest time. I'm going to do that now before I mistaken that again. There we go. Yeah, no, Indiana's good. Florida, there will be a little bit of a threat, though, for the Panhandle. For the Panhandle, we do have a little marginal tomorrow. So nothing in Indiana. However, Panhandle, Florida, we do have that overall. But yeah, see Florida mega hits. Yeah, so the northern side is actually in the Sunday too. Let's go ahead and show you guys Sunday's risk here. Yeah, Sunday's also does have just pretty much northern Florida here in the risk area. So, even up here towards Jacksonville, Gainesville, Ocala is kind of the cutoff there, right around that area. You shouldn't really take these boundaries so seriously. Whenever I first learned weather years ago, I took these things literally. You can't do that. So, yes, it still is possible for severe storms to happen outside of a weather risk. But generally most of the severe weather is going to be contained in that risk areas. Therefore, we have that. But, I'm not saying it will, but it can. So keep an eye on it. But, yeah, a lot of, just northern Florida for Saturday, Sunday. Late Saturday, early going into Sunday, when we're going to see that potential. Let's see here. Thank you for your updates in my area, Andrew. I appreciate it. No problem. Anytime. Yeah, I try to get to everybody I can. It's a little hard because I'm one guy with a bunch of people. We gotta help out. So if I go over your comment, it's not intentional. I try to get to everybody I can. James says, remember, we got to share this information as many people as possible. Social media, messaging apps. Hit that thumbs up button. I appreciate that, James. Thank you. And yeah, if you guys could share this, it could be very, very helpful to a lot of people. I suggest maybe putting on your Facebook wall or whatever. Just help share it. It would be appreciated. That way everybody can be up to date. And like we mentioned, tomorrow we will be live to cover this as we need to be because, tomorrow's going to be a long day from what it looks like. Yeah, so also, Sunday as well. We're gonna really need to look out there for. Airborne says, let's see, could 3, 5, 7, 5, 6 see tornadoes? Well, let me look. Let me see if you're in that risk or not. So, let's see, 3, 5, 7, 5, 6. This is in Alabama. Yeah. So, pretty much all of Alabama is in the tornado risk, or just a severe weather risk here for tomorrow. So for the area there, it's kind of on the boundary between the 5 and 2% chance for tornadoes. I hate to say it, all of Alabama is in the threat for tornadic activity. Some areas more than other. For example, the western side of Alabama here, we do have that part of that 10% significant risk for tornadoes. Kind of towards like the Udoa area, or I think that's how you say that, Livingston, Chatham. Not saying those areas will see tornadoes, but that's where the 10% risk is. And then you have a lot of the 5%. Most of Alabama is in that 5% tornado risk, including like Montgomery, Birmingham, Decatur, Tuscaloosa. You guys are in the 5%. And then the northern sides and like the eastern sides of Alabama, like Huntsville, Dothan, and like Auburn, some of those regions are actually in the 2%. But everywhere in Alabama is in some form of a tornado threat tomorrow. It really varies in percentage over the state. So, to answer your question, yes, you are in that threat. Let's see here. Double Rose says, thank you, Andrew. I really am only concerned about my I read that wrong. I'm really only concerned about my friend since she's on a trip to Florida. I don't think anything will happen where I live. So like we mentioned, Florida's threat's going to be relatively minimal. We do have a level 1 severe weather threat. It's a pretty low-end severe weather risk, but, it is still a risk at the end of the day for severe weather. So northern Florida could get a little bit of that severe weather, but mostly just specifically, we're kind of the northern portion of Florida is where the severe weather is expected for mostly Sunday, actually. Mostly Sunday. But yeah, late tomorrow, there will be some of that severe weather actually working its way into the panhandle of Florida overall. Let's see here. Cody says, what about Hazelhurst, Georgia? Let's look at Hazelhurst, and then we're going to hop back over here to the SPC real quickly so we can kind of show you guys the overall outlook and stuff. So let's see here. Go ahead and pull up Hazelhurst. So you, my friend, are in the middle of you are literally smack dab in the middle of the level 3 threat. I don't think you can be any more positioned in the middle of the risk here. But yeah, so definitely be weather aware tomorrow. Absolutely. You are in that level 3 enhanced risk. It's a pretty solid risk for your area. And so we're just going to go over this now. Like we mentioned, we do have that significant tornado threat. So here in the yellow, with this area with the dashed lines going through it, so that is what we call a hatched risk or a significant risk. So in this case, we have a 10% chance of tornadoes being EF2 or greater. So we do have potential for large tornadoes and strong tornadoes across the area here in yellow, which that's a 10% chance. And so kind of the way this works here, we'll use Jackson, Mississippi for an example. So within a 25-mile radius, so this is exactly 25 miles of a radius, say you live in that red dot, okay? So within 25 miles of your area, there is a 10% chance in the yellow here where a tornado could drop somewhere in that region. So that's that. That's kind of how that whole system works. And for the brown, it would be the same thing. In the brown within a 25-mile radius, let's just say of Selma here, basically. So this is 25 miles. There would be a 5% chance, for tornadoes, and of course the green 2% chance. So the overall threat for tornadoes, does work. Does kick off here all the way as far to the west as eastern Texas, as far to the east as western Georgia, as far up north as like northern Tennessee, actually, in that risk. So you can see anywhere in the green, the brown, and the yellow, there is a tornado threat for tomorrow. Obviously, the maximum concerns here in the yellow. So this is a 10% chance, this is a 5% chance across the brown, and this is a 2% chance across the green. So that's kind of what we're looking at there for. Let's see here. Pilot Dude, thank you, man, for the 2, saying, how's it been, Andrew? It's been pretty good. Just been kind of battling with a little bit of internet problems lately. Been trying to get them resolved, but anyways, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Crystals, thank you so much for the 2 as well. Appreciate that. Pilot Guy, Crystal, thank you all for the support. I really appreciate it. Helps me out a lot. So thank you, guys. Thank you. But yeah, so that's the tornado risk here, and of course, in terms of damaging winds, we do have this 30% chance for damaging winds. So the brown area here, we're talking wind gusts out of these storms potentially reaching anywhere from 60 to 70 miles an hour. 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts is going to be kind of a concern here for the areas in which we have a 30% chance across the brown. So roughly a 1 in 3 shot of damaging winds being within 25 miles of your area. And of course, we do have ourselves, the 15% as well here in the yellow, and of course the 5% here in the brown. So, and then lastly, we do have a hail threat. The hail threat's going to kind of be the last. So obviously the main concern tomorrow is going to be tornadoes, following damaging winds, then following hail. But yeah, so there will be a hail threat tomorrow. The maximum threat's a 15% chance, though, equivalent to a slight risk, level 2 threat. So that is that. In the hail size for tomorrow is going to be ranging between pretty much 1 to 2 inches in diameter overall. So hail isn't going to be anything extremely crazy, but there will likely still be some pretty strong, pretty large hail that could be going on out there in general. See, there's 5 tornadoes today. Yeah, so that's what I heard. There's 5 tornadoes. I did see a couple of them, for sure. Is there a possibility that this goes moderate? So that's kind of what everybody's wondering right now is, will this go moderate? I mean, given its setup, I mean, solid amount of instability. I mean, we're talking enough, good 1,500, some local pockets, 2,000 joules. It's a fair amount of instability. And a lot of the models agree on that. And taking a look at the lower level jet, I mean, we're talking like 50, 55 knots. That's a pretty strong lower level jet. Mid-level jet here around the same. Pretty aggressive, negatively tilted trough. I mean, given everything, that I've been watching for a while, watching the trends and stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if there was. That's my opinion. Of course, I'm not SPC, so... Yeah, obviously rely off of the SPC more. They're they're the official agency, of course. But my opinion, I wouldn't be surprised. Based off of guidance, what I've been watching, the trends and everything, yes. I'm not saying yes. I'm not saying no. I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if there was. It does certainly seem like a possibility. I mean, yeah. I mean, really everything's in place. I mean, strong low level jet, a good amount of moisture. Yeah. I mean, it's all there. It's all there. Let's see here. ATR. Let's see here. What about Lawrence, South Carolina? I was looking at models. Won't have me until 2 p.m. Do I think we could upgrade it on Sunday if it takes longer? So ATR, I'm going to hold off on that for now. I'm really kind of wanting to focus mostly on tomorrow. What I will do, though, is here, let me pull that up for you. I'll let you kind of know what you're in. I mean, right now, there is no breakdown for Sunday's risk. There can still be changes, of course. And yeah, I mean, you are kind of, in relatively pretty far in that slight risk here for Sunday. I would definitely keep an eye on the weather for Sunday. It does look like you are going to be in an active severe weather threat here. Can't really talk updates or upgrades right now. It's a little early for Sunday. So let's just keep an eye on mostly Saturday for now. We'll get through tomorrow, and then we'll really pick up on Sunday's threat when it comes around. Let's see here. Let's see, Jenny, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. That is really, 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 really appreciated. Like I said, anything helps, guys. Seriously. Helps keep all of our programs, helps keep everything up and running. So the people who donate, seriously, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. As you guys make this possible, I couldn't do it without y'all. So thank you, seriously, for the people who do support us directly. It is much appreciated. So Jenny, thank you so much for the 2. I really appreciate that. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Airborne says, if it went moderate, would it expand the enhance further north towards Huntsville? So let's look back at the models for that. Whenever it comes to it, so Huntsville's up north. It doesn't look like the best mixing ratio is going to be up that far north, according to like ARRR. So up there in northern Alabama, you can see the instability runs fairly thin. I mean, we're not talking 1,000, 1,500 joules at that point. We're talking like 500. So the instability is fairly low regarding areas out there by Huntsville. I mean, it seems like a lot of the models do pick up on that being fairly low. With that being said, though, there is still a fairly strong, fairly strong lower level jet. I mean, we do have a pretty aggressive trough with this storm. If you don't know the trough, it's basically just a huge dip in the jet stream. You guys can see this big dip. So this is a trough. And so negatively tilted trough would be an axis point like this. This would be a negative tilted trough. Anyways, you really don't need to know that. It's not, I mean, it's important, but, it's just a trough, a dip in the jet stream. But yeah, I mean, we do have a really strong lower level jet that's still present out there. There's just not as much instability. Really just not as much instability. So it's hard saying, man. It really is. I mean, we'll have to see. Once again, I'm not SPC. It's not up to me to decide what they're gonna do, but we'll be along for the ride. That's for sure. And we'll obviously be here to be covering this here. Let's see here. Jenny says, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Once again, appreciate it. What's up, Court? Welcome. But yeah, so let's go and talk about timing here. Once again, we're gonna bring up hopefully the 0 Zulu. Oh, I don't know why I changed that. Hopefully the 0 Zulu HRRR is out now, which it looks like it's just about out. Okay, so we have a new model run that came through. Let's go ahead and do this here. So we're going to go ahead and load it up. So we work our way down in time. So right as we approach our way tomorrow morning, we're talking right around 6, maybe 7, 8 o'clock in the morning here for tomorrow. That's whenever the models, like HRRR, in this case, shows a bit of storm activity really starting to kick off here. So we'll have to look out there for that. It could be fairly early, when those storms really start to fire off. Then we approach our way here right around noon Eastern time. We get a lot of heavy rain falling at this point up towards like northeastern Texas, southeast Oklahoma, and like Arkansas. Could lead to some flash flooding problems at this point, while there is still a bunch of scattered storms kicking off across like eastern Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and so on. But yeah, it's not really until we approach like the evening, kind of late afternoon, early evening hours. I mean, yeah, once we approach around like 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, at this point in time, you can see that there's this really long line of storms with potential few embedded supercells. I mean, look at that. That one even has a little hook on it. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a pretty potent atmosphere tomorrow. Once again, we do have that wind shear, really strong wind shear, really good amount of instability, good amount of moisture. It's all the ingredients are there. It's like baking a cake. If you have too much of one ingredient, it kind of throws off the system. In this case, the ingredients are just right. I mean, they're there. But yeah, I'm really concerned though on the storms that are ahead of that cold front. So you have your cold front, the main line of storms. There will likely be severe weather in that line, or there will be perhaps even tornadoes in the line of storms. But I really want to keep a close eye on these guys, the ones that fire off ahead overall. So that is that. So, and that's pretty much where the model render ends there. Once that finishes rendering, we'll go back over that. But it's going to take a little bit. But yeah, so that's kind of what we're talking about with timing. I will bring you guys over to NAM 3K though. We'll kind of pick up with the NAM model. But yeah, I mean, yeah, even the NAM honestly kind of agrees. Storms firing off fairly early here overall from what it looks like in general. That line really started to kick off as we approach our way to the late afternoon, early evening here. That long line of storms rolls through. And even according to, the NAM 3K here, you can kind of see we are talking, several potential rounds of storms, so that's that. We'll have to see if that actually plays out. Whenever it comes to it here, this is one model, so it could obviously play out a little bit differently, which I'm going to wait till that HRRR really renders comes through here. But it could be coming in multiple rounds overall. So I mean, yeah, and it'll continue in fairly late too. I mean, at this point in time, this is 2 a.m. Eastern for the 29th, and we're still going to be likely dealing with a lot of severe thunderstorms around this time. And so we'll have to definitely be extra careful. Let's see here. When I'm less busy, can I check Washington State? There's nothing going on in Washington State severe weather-wise. The Pacific Northwest has been dealing with a lot of moisture lately. We'll continue to see a lot of upper-level snowfall, lower-level rainfall. That's about all I can really tell you right now. But yeah, we're keeping the main focus on the big severe weather threats for tomorrow and the day after. Let's see here. Matthew says, good evening. Can I give me an opinion based on the new model run regarding possible tornado threat for Dothan, Alabama? So I'm going to tell you this, Matthew. I would go off of what SPC says. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take you over to Dothan, Alabama here, which tomorrow we have a level 1 severe weather threat, which is a 2% chance, I believe, for tornadoes for your area. Let's double check. Yeah, so tomorrow we do have a 2% chance. It's a fairly low shot. The odds are extremely unlikely that you'll see a tornado, but there is still possibility. It's very low, so don't count on you seeing a tornado, but the risk is there. So the atmosphere will be capable of producing tornadoes in the general area. 2% chance of seeing one within a 25-mile radius of your location. So it's pretty low. I mean, that's about like a 1 in 50 shot. that's pretty low. But anyways, you got more things I would look out for though. Let's see. I think actually day 3 also has you in that marginal. Yeah, so you're in the level 1 here. It's going to be very late as that storm kind of rolls through. By the time it reaches you, it'll be running on less instability and stuff like that. Plus, it'll be nighttime. So it'll be a little bit less severe for your area per se than, say, areas out there further to the west. But yeah, you do have a 2% chance, so we definitely want you to keep an eye on it. Even then, like I said, even if it's a 2% chance, we still need you guys actively watching the weather, because it is still a threat. It is still a tornado threat. Check DMs when I can. I don't have my Discord up right now. I'll check it later on tonight, probably. Let's see. Let's see. No, you're good, Rose. Yeah, you're good. Don't worry about it. I just wanted to tell you, we're just mostly going to be focusing on tomorrow's active threat. That's kind of where all of our eyes are on right now. Tomorrow's going to be quite active, I think, unfortunately. Let's see here. Jenny says, I miss y'all. My job's been busy, so I can't always be here. Hey, you know what, Jenny? I get it. We get it. It's all right. I get that work gets in the way all the time. So it's fine, but we miss you here too. Anyway, so tomorrow, if you guys are just tuning in here, we do have an enhanced risk, a level 3 out of 5 severe weather threat. A pretty big one too. This is a pretty big enhanced risk out there. I mean, we got about 3.5, almost 3.6 million people in the enhanced risk alone. Another almost like 14, about 13.5 million in the slight risk level 2 threat. And whenever it comes to the marginal here, we have about almost 20 million people in the level 1 threat. Like I mentioned, even if you're in the marginal level 1 threat, you're still in an active risk for severe weather, and you still need to take it seriously. The level 2 across the yellow here, the level 3, the big threat across the orange here. So the main concern is going to be like Louisiana and Mississippi and bits of Alabama. Those are going to be the main states affected here in general. So once again, tornado probability, we have ourselves a 10% hatched risk for tornadoes. We are talking, that significant threat. So that black, dashed lines that you see through the 10% here is indicating that this is a hatched risk, a significant risk. What that means is that there is the possibility for tornadoes in this area to potentially be quite large. And what I mean by quite large is potentially EF2 plus. Possibly greater than EF2. So that is that. So we have a 10% chance of that, basically a 10% chance of it happening within a 25-mile radius of your location. So then we go to the brown. This is going to be more in the lower range. This is not a hatched risk. So in the brown and the green, these are not hatched risk areas. The only hatched risk area is in the yellow. The potential for EF2 or greater is the hatched risk area. Now, basically, more than likely, the tornadoes that do happen in the 5 and the 2% can't guarantee to be, but they will most likely be EF2 and under. We can't guarantee that, of course. Nature's crazy. We've had really strong tornadoes even happen in a 2% zone many, many times in history. We can't really go off of it that way, but majority of these strong tornadoes will be in that yellow area there. So definitely need to be looking out very, very closely. Once again, we'll be live for that for sure to be covering it. It's going to absolutely need it tomorrow. So then we work our way over here to the wind threat. So we do have a non-hatched risk for damaging winds here, but it is a whopping 30% chance probability. So we're going to be most likely seeing these damaging wind gusts ranging between 60 and 70 miles per hour. Pretty strong winds. We're talking like upper tropical storm force wind gusts being possible, which, can definitely cause some damages and everything like that. So as these storms roll through, definitely want to stay indoors and away from windows. These are strong enough winds to make some stuff go airborne. So if you have anything loose outside, now would be a great time to bring in those loose objects. That way, they don't go flying. That's really heavily advised as well. But yeah, 30% chance out there in the red. So we're talking a 30% chance within a 25-mile radius of your location. So within 25 miles of you, of seeing damaging wind gusts between 60 and 70 miles an hour. And then, of course, here, lastly, the hail threat. We do have ourselves a 15% chance for hail ranging between 1 and 2 inches in diameter. So we don't have a hatch risk for hail, thankfully, as of now. Hopefully we won't, but we are talking 1 to 2 inches in diameter for hail. That could be a little larger than golf ball size. So a golf ball is 1.75 inches in diameter, and we're talking potentially up to 2 inches in diameter. So we're talking pretty decent size hail still. But yeah, 15% chance across the yellow, 5% chance across the brown here overall. So the threat is also there. Now let me remind you guys, it's not just going to be a threat for tornadoes, large hail, damaging winds. Lightning is going to be another problem. Obviously, lightning can be dangerous, very dangerous, in fact. And honestly, when these storms hit, there's going to be first of all, there's a lot of instability in the atmosphere tomorrow. There will likely be a lot of lightning associated with these storms. So lightning will be a big problem as well. So stay away from windows if you're in a storm. And obviously, once you stop hearing thunder, then you're good. But, that's the thing, is during these storms, lightning will be a problem. That's not it, though, unfortunately. Flooding tomorrow is going to be possible. Luckily, it's a relatively low threat for flooding tomorrow, but the areas listed here in the green is under the flooding risk. So if you're in an area here in the green that's prone to flooding, make sure that you take precautions and just be aware, that there will be the potential for flooding across the areas here in the green. Once again, this includes like Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, portions of Georgia, the panhandle of Florida, bits of Tennessee, southern Kentucky, western Carolinas, a little bit of eastern Arkansas, and a little bit of eastern Texas. So these areas here in the green has a shot for a little bit of flooding. So yeah, flooding, lightning, damaging winds, tornadoes, large hail will all be a problem tomorrow, in which we do need to be actively looking out there for that. It's just not everybody thinks of the flooding aspect either. Mostly just focused on that tornado threat. I get it, but yeah, that's another thing we got to look out for. So, like I said, your homework for tonight: know where to go if a warning gets issued. Obviously, if you get a tornado warning, know where to go. Once again, if you have a basement, a storm cellar, that's the number one option. If you do not, which not everybody does, then go to the central interior portion on the lowest floor possible. If you have a 2-story building, lowest floor, central interior portion. To get as low as you can and in the middle of your house as possible. And, honestly, like I mentioned, bring all of your bring all of your stuff into your safe spot. So important documents, a pair of shoes, honestly, a first aid kit, and another thing, possible radio, maybe a little bit of food and water. It wouldn't hurt, as well as a helmet could become very, very useful. Just have that in your safe spot. There's a great chance that you'll likely not use it, but it still could become very important. It could be very, very helpful. So put all that in your safe spot. And then, like I said, another thing is with that damaging wind threat that we have here for tomorrow, make sure that you bring anything in that's loose. This could be lawn furniture, it could be plants, it could be whatever you have outside that's that could be blown over or potentially go airborne. Bring all that stuff in until the line of storms rolls through, and then once that line of storms pushes through, then you'll be fine to put it back out. But yeah, that is something you got to look out for. That is something you definitely have to look out there for. So yeah, figure out where you want to go or where you would go in case there's a tornado warning. Bring all of your stuff that could easily get flown around indoors unless you strap it down or something. It could help. That's your homework for tonight. Honestly, it's very important. Not only with the winds could you be losing your property, but you could also be damaging others by not bringing it in, because the winds tomorrow will be strong enough to allow things to go airborne. Just off of the thunderstorm wind gusts alone can allow for some smaller objects, especially with greater surface area, to become airborne, which could be flying into your neighbor's home, which is not what you want. Definitely don't want to. So be careful, guys. Make sure that y'all are actively watching it tomorrow. It's going to be an active day. Once again, I got to really rest up for tomorrow because I'm planning on being live as much as I possibly can. I do have a guy coming up to look at my internet since I've been having issues with it for a while. My internet's been being really weird the last week or so. I do have a technician coming to look at it tomorrow afternoon between like 1 and 2, I think. So after he leaves, I'm probably going to go live sometime around 4, maybe 5 o'clock p.m. If things fire off earlier and I can go live, then I will. But I will definitely be live whenever I can. Just wanted to go ahead and let you guys know. So that's the plan for tomorrow, guys. That is the plan. So hopping back over here to the HRRR regarding it, we finally have the full render here. So whenever it comes to it, like I mentioned for tomorrow, there is going to be a lot of instability out there. You know, the model, the latest HRRR suggests potentially, 1,500 to maybe 2,000 joules per kilogram of instability. That's a lot of energy in the atmosphere. You know, that is definitely something that you need to look out there for. And at this point in time, you know, as we approach our way here into tomorrow, tomorrow afternoon, going really into tomorrow evening, what's got me the most concerned, like I mentioned, well, first of all, you have your long line of storms, but it really seemed like HRRR wants a lot of prefrontal storms. So a lot of storms developing ahead of the cold front. That is something that's we really got to look out there for there in general. So make sure that you guys are really keeping an active look at that in general. But anyways. All right, see you later, Court. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Flying trampolines tomorrow. Honestly, I wouldn't doubt it. You know, trampolines, they have a lot of surface area. They're not super, super heavy whenever, they could. And 70-mile-an-hour winds, I think they could. But yeah, just make sure you guys strap down anything that could easily, go airborne and stuff like that. But anyways, folks, well, I tell you what we're going to do. I am going to do some zip codes with you guys. So if y'all have any zip codes that you want me to take a look at. So what I'm doing is I'm only going to be talking about tomorrow only. I know there's a lot of people that have questions about Sunday, but we're going to take this one day at a time. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do zip code forecast. If you guys do not know how this works, you put down your zip code. A zip code doesn't show your exact address. Don't worry. It just shows a general location of where you're at. So we grab your zip code. We put it in the program. I just let you know what risk you are in and your probability for severe weather. But anyways, Supple says your mic is super loud. Turn down your volume. Might help. Let's see here. Anyways, also in my opinion, how reliable is NATOcast? I don't really use it that much, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people live and die for it. Personally, I mean, from what I've seen with it, it has its moments. I mean, really no different than other sources either, to be honest with you. I've seen it perform well. I've seen it perform terrible. It kind of like how models perform terrible and very well sometimes. I mean, I don't really use it. I mean, I'll look at it, but sometimes it can be a little over the wire. I haven't looked at it for this event though, so I'm kind of scared too, to be honest with you. Anyways. But all right, y'all, let's go ahead and get on into it here. We're going to let you guys know what active threat that you're in. I'm going to go ahead and bring up SPC. I'm going to put it on my other monitor here so I can kind of quickly look at things here. So let's go ahead and see here. All right, so first off, we have ourselves Crystal. So, yeah, you're good. There's no threat in Ohio, Crystal. You don't got to worry about that. Ice Cream wants me to take a look at 35630. 35630. This is in the Florence area. So, you, my friend, you are in the level 2 severe weather threat, in which you do have a 5% chance for tornadoes within a 25-mile radius of your area. So you're in a 5% chance for that, which is, a decent tornado threat. You do need to keep an eye out there for the weather. I would definitely watch out for it. Damaging winds, you got a 15% chance here for gusty winds ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour. In terms of your hail threat, you have a 5% chance for hail between 1 and 2 inches in diameter could be possible overall. So that's that. Let's see here. D. Morris wants me to look at Shreveport. Let's see. I know where Shreveport is, so we'll just hop over here. So you, my friend, you're in a level 2 threat. You're in a level 2 threat here for tomorrow. So you do have a 5% chance for tornadoes out here. In terms of damaging winds, you have a 15% chance for damaging wind gusts, regarding anywhere from 60 to 70 miles an hour. And in terms of hail, you also have a 15% chance for hail between 1 and 2 inches in diameter. So that's your overall probability there. Let's see here. Jalen wants me to take a look here at 39168. Gotcha. 39168. You, my friend, are up in Mississippi. Okay, so you're actually you're in the good threat. You're in the highest threat for tomorrow. So you're going to definitely want to be weather aware out there. You're in the level 3 enhanced risk. So you do have a 10% chance for tornadoes out there. Unfortunately, in this area here in the orange, there is a potential that we could have some strong tornadoes too. Potentially EF2 or greater in some of these areas here. Can't be ruled out. Please be weather aware tomorrow. A 10% chance is pretty decent. It's a decent tornado risk. I wouldn't be necessarily worried or anything. I can get how it's a little aggravating, a little nerve-wracking. But whenever it comes to it, just be weather aware, and if a warning gets issued, just know where to go, okay? You also got a 30% chance for damaging wind gusts ranging between 60 and 70 miles per hour, and a 15% chance for hail ranging between 1 and 2 inches in diameter. Let's see here. Stacy wants me to take a look here at 37821. Gotcha. 37821. This is up in Tennessee. All right, my friends. So you tomorrow, as of now, are not in the threat. You're in the thunderstorm threat for tomorrow. So a few thunderstorms are possible. However, for Sunday, there's no breakdown right now. You are in the marginal level 1 severe weather threat for Sunday morning. So Sunday, be active weather aware. But tomorrow, you should be pretty good. Let's see here. So like I mentioned, if you guys are just tuning in here, you're not sure how this works. Like I said, you just throw your zip code down, and we take the zip code, we'll put it in here. It'll just give us a general location, and I'll let you guys know what you're kind of in store for here, just to help you guys out as much as I can. Let's see, if I don't mind, my girlfriend lives in 38873. Can I look at that? Yeah. Of course. Let's see, 38873 up in Mississippi. All right, so we got a level 2 threat here for tomorrow. So there is a 5% chance for tornadoes overall. So 5% chance within 25 miles of a tornado happening, which, it's not the lowest tornado threat. It's not the highest. I mean, it's a decent tornado threat. She does need to be actively aware, watching the radar tomorrow for warnings and stuff. Make sure she has a way to receive warnings, very important. Also, damaging winds, 15% chance out there, ranging between 60 and 70 mile per hour wind gusts. And hail, actually, she is in a 5% chance for hail, ranging between 1 and 2 inches in diameter. Let's see here. Binksy wants me to look here at 39565. Let's see here. 39565. I think that's it. Mississippi. Okay, so you, my friend, level 2, severe weather threat here. There is a 5% chance for tornadoes. There is a 15% chance for damaging wind gusts ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour, and a 5% chance for hail, ranging between 1 and 2 inches in diameter. Let's see here. David says, did I ever see no tornadoes in the hatch before? Yeah, I have. Sometimes events don't always perform as expected. I'm not saying this one will. From what it looks like on paper, it looks pretty intimidating. It looks like a pretty nasty day tomorrow. But I have seen bust events where events just don't system. Just don't do anything. I have seen it before. But more times than not, there is severe weather that does happen in the risk areas. Let's see. So 5% risk for tomorrow means that if I do have a tornado in my area, it'll be most likely be weak. So since you're not in the hatched risk area, more than likely the tornadoes will be less than EF2. I mean, it's not for sure, but the majority of tornadic strength will not exceed EF2. Now, the 5% is a probability-based, chance, basically probability-based of what you can see or how likely a tornado is to happen within a 25-mile radius of your location. So within a radius, within a parameter, a big circle around you, within 25 miles of you, in your case of 5%, there's a 5% chance a tornado will drop in that radius, if that makes sense. Let's see. Your ice cream says, thanks for letting me know, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all you do. Save lives. You save mine. You're very welcome, my friend. No problem. Like I said, that's what we're here for. I mean, personally, I love tracking weather. I always have. I've been doing this for a long time. But yeah, you're very welcome, my friend. I enjoy tracking it. I enjoy helping you guys out, of course. And, I figured I track it all the time. I used to track it all the time, and I still do. But now I can help you guys out with it. So, but yeah, you're very welcome. Very, very welcome. It all depends on the ingredients, how fast they mixed. I mean, yeah, it's fair. I mean, partially. Sometimes forecasted parameters can be underperformed than what the models suggest. There's a lot of ways that an event can bust. Not saying it will. Like I said, I'm definitely not saying it will bust. I'm just saying events in the past have. Not saying this one will or will not. Okay. But yeah, there's a lot to it. Nature's very complex. Very complex. It's like so many microphysics going on even in weather. It's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. Even the best of computers nowadays cannot process the atmosphere fully. And there's so many little inner workings that can completely change the overall outcome of weather. It's just nuts. Super difficult. So you got to give your local weatherman some slack, man. I mean, seriously, it's extreme. We're literally predicting the future. It can be rough, but I tell you what, man, the technology for it has gotten much better in the last several years. It'll never be perfect, I don't think, though. Let's see. Thanks, Andrew. You rock. No problem. My criteria for a super outbreak is 2 or more EF5 tornadoes. At least 10 violent tornadoes, total of 50. That's a lot. I think I don't know if there's an actual number for that, but for like a tornado outbreak, I consider at least half a dozen tornadoes to occur for it to be kind of an outbreak of tornadoes. It also depends like the risk area, how big the risk area is and stuff like that. So in this case, since it's a large area, like I mentioned, tomorrow's tornadic potential, it's fairly large. Wait, that's not today. That's tomorrow. So that's today's. Tomorrow's. Yeah, it's fairly large. We got 3 different risk levels. I mean, it covers a pretty good area. And it's a pretty high probability of tornadic activity. I think we will see several tornadoes tomorrow, in which I think that could really lead us to an outbreak. Let's see here. Carolyn says, what are the hours of, let's see, this thread for Destin, Florida area. When would flights be the safest? So, here's Destin. Yeah, I remember where Destin is. Okay, so it's going to be fairly late from what the models are suggesting by the time the storms do get out that way. As you can kind of see, it's going to be fairly late. I mean, this is... it's going to be fairly quiet. There might be a few rumbles of thunder, whatnot, throughout the afternoon, in the morning. But the main event here isn't going to really come through until, like, really, honestly, really mostly the morning of the 29th. Or late, really late tomorrow. So, I mean, throughout the morning and the afternoon, it should be relatively somewhat calm. But yeah, the big stuff's not going to happen till late. Michelle says, let's see here. Hi, I was wondering about 42003. Gotcha. Let's see here, 42003. This is up in Paducah. This is Kentucky. So yeah, you're actually good. The severe weather as of now is not expected to go up into Kentucky. It's close. It goes up as far north as northern Tennessee, but Kentucky, it's yeah, you guys are good. You guys are good out there by Paducah. Let's see. Thing now is the new HRRR shows less morning convection that was showing. That's not good. Yeah, less convection in the morning could lead to more explosive storms in the evening. It's a bit problematic. What's up, Sean? Hope you're doing good. Xavier says, look at the HRRR models. Yeah, we did look at those a couple of times here. You must have just joined. But, yeah, we have been paying attention to it. I mean, yeah, those prefrontals there, those are going to be probably the main concern. You know, these guys ahead of the main line. You know, those prefrontals are like directly in those ingredients. You know, strong ripping lower level jet at that point. There's a lot of dense fog advisories getting issued. You see all those? But yeah, I mean, you know, just these cells, semi-discrete storms, kind of have their own environment to work in, while the whole line just kind of hogs everything. Sometimes these individual storms are kind of just far enough isolated to where they kind of had like, you know, pretty much the whole atmosphere to work just for that storm. If it's hard to explain. But yeah, those prefrontals are more dangerous. They can be for sure. What's up, Isaac? Hope you're doing good. See, less morning convection is bad, more time for energy build. Yeah, pretty much. And also, with thunderstorms, you know, in their downdraft phase, they bring cooler, more stable air to the surface, which can indeed cut out inflow to new storms that develop in the evening. Yes, so morning convection isn't good, and since the HRRR is showing less of it, could be more of an explosive evening, unfortunately. We'll have to see. Let's see. I'm from Virginia, so I want to know what the storm I'm going to have. So Virginia, tomorrow, you're good. Yeah, Virginia's not dealing with anything tomorrow. However, Sunday, we do have a day we do need to look out for Virginia. Actually, most of Virginia is in the risk here for Sunday. You can see here, we do have a marginal here for a lot of Virginia. The only area that's really not is like kind of northern Virginia, kind of northeastern Virginia. Yeah, a lot of northern Virginia is not in the risk. But yeah, the majority of Virginia is in that severe weather risk, and even a little bit of a slight risk going into like the far south central side of the state could be possible. But there's no breakdowns right now for tornadic probability or anything like that at the moment. But that'll be for Sunday. Yeah. So tomorrow is going to be the big day. Let's see here. But anyways, if the storms can stay isolated on the HRRR 12 Zulu tomorrow, I think a moderate risk is very warranted. We'll see, man. It's possible. I wouldn't rule it out. We'll see. We'll have to see. I mean, I will say though. that the ingredients are pretty well organized. You know, anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 joules per kilogram of instability. That's enough. It's actually kind of a lot for this time of the year. Actually, I mean, being in late December, that's a fair amount of instability, and you know, plus that lower level jet there, getting 60 plus knots. Actually, 60 plus knot lower level jet is pretty strong. So good kinematics, you know, good thermodynamics. I mean, yeah, instability, wind shear, perfect. It's good. Even moisture, you know, good adequate amount of moisture here too. You know, a lot of that northerly air advection bringing in a pretty good amount of moisture into those states. Mid 60s, some cases upper 60 degree dew points. Good supply of moisture, perfectly. Yeah, one thing you're going to definitely notice, though, is it's going to be a little bit warm ahead of the line, though. It's going to be a pretty warm day. You know, we'll be up in the 70s down here and in the 60s as well. in which you're going to really be feeling some pretty warm temperatures all the way up even in the Ohio Valley and stuff too. I mean, we're going to be in the mid upper 50s out there, even the 60s in some spots. So, see, thank you so much. I appreciate you. No problem, Michelle. Anytime. But anyways, folks, well, yeah, definitely be weather aware tomorrow. Keep a close eye out there for the weather. But I think we're going to head off here soon. I got to get some rest for tomorrow. Tomorrow I think it's going to be a very long day. But I hope to see you guys there for tomorrow. If you have not already, consider leaving a like. Most importantly, hitting that subscribe button. Honestly, I'd really say most importantly, sharing this if you guys could, because the more that you guys can share this and help distribute, the more potential lives we could save. So if you guys could copy the link to the stream, tell your family, your friends to subscribe. Honestly, if you could put the link to this on your Facebook wall and just explain that there's severe weather going on tomorrow, we will be live for it tomorrow. But I do want to go ahead and give a thanks to our supporters today. We did have a couple donators. Once again, those people who donate really do help us out a ton. They help us keep going. Like I said, if it wasn't for you guys, honestly, this wouldn't be possible. So for the people who do donate to us, thank you so much. A big shout out goes to Crystal, as well as Pilot. Thank you so much, Tabletop, as well as Jenny. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Those are all of our supporters for the day. So seriously, thank you guys for the donations. I really appreciate it. Once again, you guys do make this possible. So I deeply appreciate everything. Let's see. Face says, where is Washington County, Alabama looking like for tomorrow? Let's see here. Washington County, Alabama. Here we go. Okay, so Washington County is actually in the 10% SIG tornado risk. You're in the level 3 threat. So I believe this also includes that 30% wind threat. Yep. So you got a 10% chance for tornadoes, EF2 or greater potentially, damaging wind gusts up to 60 to 70 miles an hour, which that's a 30% chance. And hail, you got a 15% chance. So yeah, you're kind of in the heavier area, the heavier risk. In which, yeah, hail could be up to 1 to 2 inches in diameter overall. So, yeah, definitely keep a close eye out there for it. But, all right, everybody. Well, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Once again, if you haven't already, consider leaving a like, hitting that subscribe button, and most importantly, copying this and putting it on your Facebook. Just help spread the word, guys. Or send it to individuals. Because, like I said, we're going to be in a busy day tomorrow. We're going to definitely want to be live. Turn on notifications, too. That way, when we do go live, you guys immediately get notified. That way, you guys know when to join our stream. We'll be live sometime late tomorrow afternoon, early tomorrow evening. I do have an appointment with the internet guy. Hopefully, he'll come and fix whatever problems we've been having. Knock on wood, it ran pretty good tonight, so I'm hoping that hopefully it'll continue to do that. Oh, we got a severe thunderstorm warning. Look at that. That's for Mobile, actually. We'll look at this and okay, I can see why. That's a pretty hefty storm there. Yeah, look at that. There's likely some really gusty winds on that because that's scanning pretty low elevation too, and radar's estimating around 40, 50 miles an hour or so. Was just enough to push it over severe status. But all right, everybody, well, thank you so much for joining. You guys take care, have a wonderful rest of your night, try to get some sleep. Once again, make sure you guys get your homework done. Like I said, just know where to go if a tornado warning gets issued tomorrow. If you have a basement storm cellar, it's your first option. If you do not, then go to the central interior portion of your home, such as a bathroom or closet, the middle lowest floor of your home. And, if you're in a trailer, you're going to need to ditch the trailer if it comes to it. Whenever it comes to it, and let's see here, whenever it comes to it, bring your your stuff into your safe spot. So, important documents, helmet, first aid kit, pair of shoes, possibly some food and water if you want to, could become useful. So put all that in your safe spot. And lastly, sorry, I can't even talk right now. With the damaging wind threat that's going to be persisting tomorrow, If you have anything loose outside, such as lawn furniture, anything that can really get blown around pretty easily, bring it indoors or strap it down. Do that. I would recommend it tonight. If you can do it tonight, it'd be good. If not, do it first thing in the morning, because storms are going to really start popping off late tomorrow morning. Going into severe, I think, around early afternoon into the evening is when things are going to probably start going severe. So, anyways, let's see. Braven says, hey, Andrew, what's up? Bing says, thanks again. Bye, everyone. Sleep well. You too. You as well. David says, thanks for your time, Andrew. No problem. But all right, everybody, thanks for joining. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and most importantly, share this with your friends and family. Help us get the word out there, my friends. Put it on your Twitter, put it on your Facebook wall. Just send it to your friends, your family, neighbors, coworkers, anybody you can, really, just to help spread awareness. That way they can continue to watch this through us here for tomorrow. Tonight at some point, I'm going to reboot our 24/7 radar. So if you see us go live again tonight, it's not going to be me. It'll just be a no commentary radar again, like we've been doing. Probably gonna add some music to it. It's been pretty bland without it. But all right, everybody, thanks for joining. You guys take care. Stream is gonna head off here in approximately 2 minutes. So thanks for joining. You guys take care. Have a wonderful rest. I don't know why that says let's do it. We're not doing that right now. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining. Y'all take care. Once again, thank you to our supporters. Appreciate y'all. Big shout out does go to Crystal, Pilot, Tabletop, as well as Jenny. Thank you guys for your support. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining. Y'all take care, and we'll catch y'all later on. Peace out, my friends. See ya in the next one.